Hi, I'm Joey Pio, and for my synthesis essay, I started my whole process by looking for an article, a video, and a random website, which I found out I was supposed to have a magazine or a newspaper rather than a random website I used. But for the beginning, for my double entry journal, I created a Venn diagram with my sources where I compared each of them and found a common topic between each of them. And basically that helped me to find a visual between each of the topics, and I was able to see every single topic each source found, and I was able to easily not only find a topic between two of them, but between all three that shared a common interest. Now, after finding out that I had to replace my random website with a newspaper, I had to look for a newspaper that shared common parts to the previous website, which ironically, the magazine that I ended up getting used my website as one of its sources. So after the double entry journal, I pasted those quotes that I found as well as the descriptions I gave to my rough draft and merged them together with an intro, a conclusion, and a citations page. With the corrections made by Ashley in the peer review and by you, I was able to finalize it to what I turned in now. My goal for this paper was to get a better understanding of gap years. I never knew about gap years, so I assumed it was a year of just relaxing. Throughout my paper, though, I got a better understanding of why people took them and the benefits. I also learned how many people still go to college after their gap year. I had the mentality of thinking people who take gap years may go to college, may not go to college, but I found out through statistics and through people's experiences that a lot more people go to college than I realized. And I was able to get a new perspective on gap years, and I support students to take a gap year when it's necessary and if used efficiently. Now, this assignment, it allowed me to be able to compare my sources effectively as well as merge my source quotes within the text to flow well. I also learned how to introduce my sources effectively by describing who they are to give them the credibility to be trusted. Now, I struggled to find a good newspaper that would replace the website I had and flow with my other sources. The website I had many quotes, and I merged them in with my paragraph, but I ended up finding a magazine from the New York Times that kind of merged with my topics, and I was able to compare them effectively still. I will make sure to know what types of sources in the future that I need first before using them in the paper. I learned how to write about a topic without addressing obvious things, because in this paper we had to write to people who already knew knowledge. They were more like they were experts, and I was used to, for a long time, writing to people who didn't know that many things about the topic. They were like lay people. I also learned how to appropriately introduce my sources into the paper. And lastly, of course, I learned how to identify an appropriate newspaper and know the difference between that and using a random website. So that was my whole process.